Paperboard. Suzano produces a range of printing papers of various specifications, colors, calipers, finishes, and sizes. Learn more about our line of paperboard and its manufacturing process. Paperboard. There are three categories of paperboard. SBS, composed only by virgin layers of bleached pulp, renowned for its smoothness and high performance. Widely used in the production of packaging of cosmetics, promotional materials, and book covers. Triplex, composed of bleached pulp on the top, high-yield pulp and/or scrap on the back, and pre- and/or post-consumer in the core. Used in packaging of pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, personal hygiene, perfumes, and luxury packaging for food. Duplex, composed of bleached pulp on the top, high-yield pulp and/or pre- and post-consumer scrap in the core, and/or half-bleached or unbleached pulp on the back. Widely used in packaging of food, cleaning supplies, personal care displays, and auto parts displays. The eucalyptus logs, grown in 100% renewable plantations and certified by the FSC, are already debarked, cleaned, and peeled before transport. Once they arrive at our factory, they are placed on a crawler and lead to a chipping machine that turns them into wood chips. Right after that, a conveyor belt transports them to the storage silo. Another conveyor belt transports the wood chips to a digester, where the wood cooking process begins. For a whiter pulp, the bleaching process occurs through a chemical process that allows the pulp to become ECF bleached, or elemental chlorine free, and then it goes to the storage tower. The paperboard is characterized by the composition of 2 or more pulp layers. 3 variations of raw materials can be found in the composition, depending on the characteristics of the desired final product. Pulp, pre- and post-consumer material, and high-yield pulp. The paperboard making process begins with the purification of fibers and removal of all impurities in the pulp mass. The pulp also proceeds to the refining process, increasing the flexibility of the fibers, giving it the necessary physical characteristics for the final product, the paperboard. The final mixtures go to 3 different input boxes, as we call the sets of fiber spraying nozzles, which spreads the different compositions on sheet-forming conveyor screens. These screens are mats that go through pressing and suction, draining much of the water from the mixtures of fibers. The paperboard machine creates 3 layers of paper and simultaneously combines them into one. 2 different sheets are bound together with starch, which is applied with jet sprayers in between the 2 sheets. This new 2-layered sheet joins the 3rd sheet and again receives a jet spray of starch to bind them and forms a 3-bounded layer sheet, the paperboard. In the drying step, the sheet passes through upper and lower drying cylinders with controlled temperature, which causes the sheet to dry evenly on both sides. Once dry, the paperboard sheet proceeds to the dyeing machine, where it may receive ink or pigment on both sides by being pressed between guiding rollers and ink-coated rollers. In the post-drying stage, the sheet travels between drying cylinders for the final humidity control of the paper. The final paperboard process is calendaring in order to gain a more uniform and smooth texture. A scanner crosses the edges of the paperboard sheet, measuring all characteristics of paper to ensure that it meets all the required specifications. At the end of the process, the sheet is wound on a metal rod, producing what we call a jumbo roll. Now completely ready, the paper, still in a roll format, can go through 2 shipping formats according to the demand: roll or sheets. For the production of rolls, the parent roll is unwound and cut by circular knives, then forming smaller rolls that are wound around cardboard tubes, and proceed to the packaging section, and then to the expedition. For the production of sheets, similar smaller rolls head for the cutting machine, where they are unwound and receive a finely controlled edge-cutting finish, resulting in their final width, which is then cut by rotating in the transverse cutters. The cut sheets are counted automatically by photocells, stacked, and will receive 2 types of packaging. Package. The packaging machine receives a stack of papers that will be separated into reams, which are individually packed and stacked on pallets, receiving their labeling with the type of finish, and go to shipping. Skids. A single stack of sheets is stacked on a pallet, then wrapped and labeled, and sent to shipping.